Of the Joliet Zoning Board of Appeals. In our capacity, we hear petitions for relief from the strict provisions of our city ordinance. In matters of this type, the decision of this board is final. Respect, it does not go to the mayor or the city council for any further action. If you disagree with our decision, you do have recourse in a court of record. We also hear petitions for variations of land use. In matters of this type, we act as an advisory committee to the mayor and city council, making a recommendation either for or against it. The final decision on land use is made by the mayor and the city council. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Bias?
Present.
Mr. Alessio?
Here.
Mr. Noctree?
Here.
Mr. Riggs? Ms. Rohr? Here. Mr. Hennessy?
Here.
First order of business would be approval of minutes from March 21st meeting.
Motion to approve be in order.
Motion.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve the minutes. Poll the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Next would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. Those in attendance can speak now on agenda items for 4 minutes, but please know that we'll also let you speak when your case or the case you're interested in is called. Anybody wanting to speak on an agenda item? Seeing none, next would be old business public hearing. We have none. New business public hearing. Petition 2024-08. Or let me backtrack. We have a petition at the very end. If anybody's here for 1302 West Acres Road, if they got any indication that this case was on the agenda, this case was not submitted accurately. It's all the way at the end of your packet. We did not get a sufficient submittal for this, but it may have gotten advertised and noted on here. So what we need to do is call this, and we ask that withdrawal is recommended by the zoning board because of insufficient submittal.
Okay.
Motion to withdraw in order. Motion to withdraw petition 2024-17.
Second.
We have motion and second. Poll the board.
Mr. Bias?
Here.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Thank you. Next. That's the right staff report. 2024-08, petitioner owner is William Tavel and Gina Tavel. Location is 3103 Ruth Fitzgerald Drive. Request is a variation. Under purpose, petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required front yard setback from 30 feet to 26 feet to allow construction of a new concrete landing and portico, again located at 3103 Ruth Fitzgerald Drive. Per section 47-6.4 of the city's zoning ordinance, 30-foot front yard setback is required between the front yard lot line and the front facade of the main building. Construction of a portico as shown in the attached renderings creates a building as defined by section 47-3.3 of the city's zoning ordinance by virtue of creating a structure, either temporary or permanent, having a roof supported by columns or walls, and intended for the shelter or enclosure of persons, animals, chattel, or property of any kind. The proposed portico concrete landing would be an extension of the main building, thereby necessitating the requested variation for a setback reduction. Under site-specific information, the subject property contains a 2-story single-family residential dwelling unit that was built in the 1990s. The main building is currently set back approximately 31.9 feet from the front yard lot line. The concrete landing would be approximately 12 feet wide. The ridge of the proposed portico would be approximately 2 feet above the top of the existing front door. Proposed portico would not encroach upon an existing walkway that connects the driveway on the property's north side with the front entryway. With the proposed addition, the property will still be under the maximum amount of lot coverage that is allowed per section 4717.29 of the city's zoning ordinance. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the subject property is located in the Mayfair subdivision on the city's far west side. Subdivision contains single-family residences with a blend of 1- and 2-story buildings. As the subdivision was mostly built in the 90s, most structures meet existing R2 single-family residential zoning lot requirements. However, several homes in the area contain similar front entryway features as the proposed portico. Under applicable regulations, section 47-6.4 yard and lot requirements, section 47-3.3 basic structural terms, section 47-17.29 percentage of ground coverage, and section 47-19.8 criteria for granting a variation, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required front yard setback from 30 feet to 26 feet to allow the construction of a new concrete landing and portico, again located at 3103 Ruth Fitzgerald Drive. Since the existing front facade of the main building is only 1.9 feet from the 30-foot front yard setback line, the requested portico cannot be built without the requested variation. Staff believes the scale and design of the portico would be comparable to other existing front entryways in the neighborhood. Under conditions, if the zoning Board of Appeals desires to approve the requested variation, staff recommends the following conditions be included. One, that all necessary building permits shall be approved prior to continued construction of the concrete landing and portico, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. Want to come forward? Must swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Name and address.
William Tybel, 3103 Ruth Fitzgerald Drive, Plainfield, 60586.
You have any comments?
No, I'm just, we just want to build this portico because, we don't have, you saw the house is pretty plain in the front there, and when it's raining, you get wet. So we'd like to put up the roof. There's a lot of houses on our block that have that already, and we just like to have one.
Okay, any questions by the board? Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition, asks the board for discussion and a motion.
I move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you.
That vote is final. Next is petition number 2024-09. The applicant owner is Furman Meza. The location is 203 Logan Avenue. The request is a series of variations. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting the following variations to allow a second-story addition on their residence at 203 Logan Avenue. The variation is to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 18, and a variation to reduce the required side yard setback from 8 feet to 6.9 feet. Zoning Board of Appeals makes the final decision on these variation requests. Under site-specific information, the subject property is 7,580 square feet, contains a 1.5-story residence built around 1895. House currently has approximately 1,400 square feet of living area. Property is zoned R2 single-family residential. Proposed addition would extend the second floor walls to a height of 8 feet to create a full second story along the entire length of the house. House, which was built prior to the adoption of the current zoning ordinance, has an existing non-conforming front yard setback of 18 feet measured to the porch. Setback is 24 feet to the front wall of the house. The existing side yard is 6.9 feet, which meets the minimum for a 1.5-story home, but is slightly less than the requirement of 8 feet for a 2-story home. Proposed second-story addition will have the same front and side yard setbacks as the existing house. The footprint of the house will not change. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is located in the residential neighborhood south of Washington Street and east of the Canadian National Railroad tracks. Property is surrounded on three sides by residents with R2 zoning. The rear of the property is bordered by the railroad tracks. The neighborhood contains a mix of 1- and 2-story houses. Under applicable regulations, section 47-6.4 R2, district yard and lot requirements, and 47-19.8, finding of facts supporting a variation, and you could refer to the attachment. Approval of the requested variation would allow a second-story addition on an existing 1.5-story home. Proposed addition creates a full second story on the entire top level of the house. Existing house has a non-conforming front setback, so the petitioner must request a variation to enlarge and continue that setback. Additionally, the petitioner is requesting a side yard variation because the existing side yard of 6.9 feet is less than the required 8 feet side yard for a 2-story home. Petitioner wishes to build the addition to increase the living space of their home. Second floor walls will be extended to a full height of 8 feet, and the gable roof will change from a 12-12 pitch to a 5-12 pitch. The second floor will also extend over the 1-story rear section of the house. The proposed house design will not be out of character with the neighborhood, which has a mix of house styles. Elevations, floor plans, and a plat of survey are attached. Under conditions, we have none, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here? Swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Could I have your name and address?
It's Furman Meza. Address is 203 Logan Avenue, 60433.
Any comments?
I'm just building this house for my dad. We used to be residents from Chicago. And 3 years ago, I built my house in the same block. And I'm building this house for my dad. He's a retired labor for the union, and he wants to come to Joliet area to enjoy his retirement.
Okay. Any questions by the board?
How many bedrooms in the house now?
What was that?
How many bedrooms in the house now?
Three bedroom?
Is you gonna add additional bedrooms?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vote is final. Petition number 2024-10 is next. Applicant is Go Permit, Inc., agent for Ascension St. Joseph. Owner is Provena St. Joseph Medical Center. Location is 333 Madison Street. Request is variation. Under purpose, the petitioner is requesting a variation to increase the maximum sign height in the RB Restricted Business Zoning District from 20 feet to 57 feet to allow a wall sign for Ascension St. Joseph Medical Center. Sign is for the J. and Lori Bergman Heart Hospital. Zoning Board of Appeals makes a final decision on this variation request. Under site-specific information, the property is located on the south side of Glenwood Avenue between Madison Street and Springfield Avenue and contains the Ascension St. Joseph Hospital. The proposed sign would be located on the north face of the hospital, facing Glenwood Avenue. The property is zoned RB Restricted Business District. 2008, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Zoning Board approved a variation to increase the sign height for 2 signs on the property. They approved a sign height of 33 feet for emergency sign at the northwest corner of the building. They approved a sign height of 109 feet for the hospital name sign located along the top of the west side of the building facing Springfield Avenue. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, parcel is most of the entire block between Glenwood Avenue and United Street on the north and south, and Madison Street and Springfield Avenue on the east and west. Zoning and land use for the properties adjacent to this block are as follows. To the north is R4 and R2 residential and medical offices. South is B1 and R5 residential. To the east is RB medical uses. To the west is RB and B1 professional offices. Under applicable regulations, section 47-17.21 signs and 47-17.213BB criteria for granting a sign variation, and you could refer to the attachment. Under discussion, the petitioner Go Permit Inc. seeks to install a wall sign at Ascension St. Joseph Medical Center that exceeds the maximum height allowed in the RB district. Sign, which is for the J. and Lori Bergman Heart Hospital, would be located near the top of the north face of the hospital at a height of 57 feet. Sign would have 2.5 foot high letters and an area of approximately 169 square feet. Hospital is a large multi-level building with varying wall heights along its facade. Placement of this sign would allow patrons to navigate the hospital campus and locate the correct entrance for this hospital unit. Requested height variation is similar to what was previously approved for the emergency and hospital name wall signs and will not be out of character with the overall medical campus. Under conditions, we have none, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. I swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law.
Yeah.
Name and address.
My name is Dan. I'm with 518 Harbor Terrace in Bartlett. I represent Stratus Unlimited along with our permanent expediter Go Permits. And we're here today to ask for the variation of the signs for Jane Lori Bergman Hospital.
Is this sign primarily to locate that particular branch of the hospital, or is it more of a testimonial to the Bergmans?
It's more like a testimony with the Burkhart family.
In honor of what, their donations?
Yes, correct.
Any other questions?
But the sign, is it over that particular facility? Is it's like located on the building that contains the heart
purpose.
hospital?
Yes, correct.
Any other questions by the board? Anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor? Opposed? Chair closes petition. Ask the board for a discussion and a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that the sign be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Nactry?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you,
That
sir.
is final. Next petition number is 2024-11. Applicant is Accelerate Permits LLC, agent for Bank of America. The owner is Lucky NGIM LLC. Location is 1550 West Jefferson Street. Request is variation. Under purpose, the petitioner is requesting a variation on signage to allow a wall sign that does not face a public way for Bank of America. Zoning Board of Appeals makes the final decision on this variation request. Under site-specific information, the subject site is located at the southeast corner of Jefferson Street and Stryker Avenue and contains a Bank of America facility. Property is approximately 1.15 acres and is Zone B3 General Business. Site has 2 access driveways off Stryker Avenue. Proposed sign, which would be located on the south face of the building, would face the southern driveway, which serves as the main entrance to the bank's drive-through lanes. Sign would also face additional parking located on the south side of the building. There are existing wall signs on the north and west sides of the building and a monument sign at the northwest corner of the site. Petitioner is currently updating all existing site signage. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is located on the south side of Jefferson Street in the Stryker Jefferson Commercial Subdivision. Zoning and land use for the adjacent properties are as follows. To the north is B1 restaurant use. To the south is B3 with a parking lot use. To the east is B3 with a blood donation center use. And to the west is B3 auto repair shop and R2A with a residence there. Under applicable regulations, section 47-17.21 signs and 47-17.213B criteria for granting a sign variation, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner, Accelerate Permits LLC, on behalf of Bank of America, seeks to install a wall sign that does not face a public way on the existing bank. Building currently has wall signs on the north and west sides, facing Jefferson Street and Stryker Avenue. The petitioner is proposing a third illuminated wall sign on the south face of the building, which faces the main entrance for patrons entering the drive-through lanes. The proposed wall sign would help direct traffic traveling north on Stryker Avenue. Proposed sign is approximately 42 square feet in area and would have the same design as the other two wall signs. The total area of all site signage, including this proposed sign, does not exceed the total permitted for this site. Under conditions, we have none, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. You swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law.
I do.
Name and address.
Lori Burgart, 1332 West Bartlett Way in Chandler, Arizona, 85248.
Any comments?
No, I think that covers what we would like to do in putting some branding on the south side, so when people are heading north on Stryker, it identifies where that entrance is for the drive-through lanes and the ATM.
Okay, any questions by the board?
No.
Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Opposed? Petition, Chairman closes petition to the floor and asks the board for a motion and a vote.
I move
I'd like
we
to make a
approve.
You guys take turns.
You got it.
We have a
Mr.
motion
Bias.
and a second to approve the petition. Pull the board.
Mr. Bias?
Here, present, yes.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
I,
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Hennessy?
Aye, thank you all.
Thank you.
That is final. Petition number 2024-12 is next. Applicant is Bays Motors Incorporated. Status of the applicant is owner. And again, Bays Investment Corporation is the owner. Location is 77 Republic Avenue. Request is a special use permit. Under purpose, the petitioner is requesting a special use permit to allow used auto sales at a facility located at 77 Republic Avenue. Property has I-1 light industrial zoning designation for section 47-14.3D of the city's zoning ordinance. B3 uses are permitted in the I-1 zoning district. Within the B3 zoning district, automobile establishments for display, hire, and repair, including outdoor sales lots, are permitted with a special use permit, provided no part of a building where repairs are conducted shall have any openings other than permanently sealed windows or required fire exits within 100 feet of any residential zoning district. Petitioner has stated that the proposed used auto sales facility will not contain any auto repair uses. Under site-specific information, the subject property is approximately 0.66 acres and contains the existing two-story car wash and office building. Property contains two full access points located to the north and south of the main building. Customers, employees would access the site from the south access point. Vehicles for sale would predominantly be stored inside the main building along the north side of the building in the existing detailing bays, which are no longer in use. The attached site plan shows the proposed site plan. Site plan shows space for storage of approximately 11 vehicles inside the main building. Let's see. This next statement about the car wash being discontinued is not accurate, so that I won't read that into the report. The car wash will remain. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is I-1 fencing contractor. To the south is I-1 car dealership. To the east is R4 fraternal organization office. And to the west is I-1 industrial warehousing. Under applicable regulations, section 47-14.3D, allowances of B3 uses in I-1 zoning district. 47-13.2AG, special uses for general business districts. Section 47-3.6B, definition of an auto repair station. 47-5.2C, criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you could see the attached petition for that. Under discussion, approval of the requested special use permit would allow used auto sales at the existing car wash building at 77 Republic Avenue. Petitioner has stated that only high-end vehicles would be sold at the subject property, that all vehicles will be kept inside the main building apart from temporarily showcasing certain cars east of the main building along the Republic Avenue frontage. The auto sales use would require a maximum of 4 employees and would operate between the hours of 8 and 6 p.m. Mondays through Friday. Minor service operations such as tire changes and oil changes would still be done at the subject property, but only for vehicles purchased from the petitioner. Major repair work will be sent out to other repair dealers in the area. Staff finds that the petitioner has established with clear and convincing evidence that the criteria outlined in section 47-5.2C of the zoning ordinance, which details the conditions that must be present for a special use permit to be issued, will be met with the proposed use and site plan. Site has adequate access and acreage to accommodate the small volume of vehicles that will be on site for sale. Vehicles will predominantly be located inside the existing main building, and customer viewings will be conducted on an appointment-only basis, thereby reducing the amount of traffic going to and coming from the site. Site contains adequate means of access for the proposed volume of activity. Furthermore, the proposed use would be situated with an I-1 light industrial zoning district with industrial and warehouse uses to the north and west and a larger car dealership use to the south. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the business shall be registered with the city clerk's office. 2, that any vehicles displayed along the Republic Avenue frontage east of the main building do not block cross access between the north and south parking areas and are not parked east of the existing sidewalk along Republic Avenue. All vehicles that, 3rd is all vehicles that are to be serviced for maintenance work be parked inside the subject property's main building. 4, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And then 5th is our 180-day clause in order to get up and operating or becoming null and void, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. Must swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you are about to present to be the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Name and address.
My name is John Bays. My address is 15100 West 159th Street, Homer Glen, Illinois.
Any comments, John?
What's that?
Any comments you'd like to make?
I'd just like to say I've been a dealer for 57 years. I was the Cadillac and Toyota dealer for 17 years in Joliet. I bought the Cadillac dealership and I had it for about 10 years. It was bankrupt. It was the #1 in the United States in customer satisfaction for the whole time I had it. My reputation as a car dealer is excellent. I moved the dealership when I sold dealerships, the Cadillac and Toyota dealership. I moved to Shanahan, and I've had it there about 20 years in inside building. And I was just offered a lot of money for the property. It wasn't for sale, and I sold it. And the Republic Avenue property is a car wash I've had about 15 to 20 years. There's so many new car washes that's moved into town, and I've invested a couple million upgrading that car wash, but it never makes money ever. And putting a dealership in there with it will help. I don't want to close the place. I don't close anything, but that would help support that building. The building, I've invested $2 million. It's worth no more than $500,000 based on the business it has as a car wash. So I think putting these luxury cars inside will help take care of the overhead.
Would attract people to come to the location?
What's that?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm glad to hear you're not going to close the car wash because I've got an appointment to bring my car in there next week.
Well, the car wash.
So I don't want you to keep it open just for me, but
it's a car
got to
wash
stay
that
open.
mainly have senior citizens there. There's so many new car washes now, and people are in a real big hurry. We do everything by hand, cleaning, interior, vacuum, everything. That business, a lot of our older clients have died off, and it's really, the business is down. It's the only full-service car wash. I'd like to keep it open because I just put $450,000 worth of new equipment in it. So I don't want to throw that equipment away And like I say, the cheapest automobile I have right now is over $100,000. Most of it we sell online. It's Rolls Royces, Porsche, Mercedes, and I have some of the new 23 Corvettes, the convertibles. But it's an expensive car. Most of them are done only by appointments. I don't really want to give up the dealership license, and the reason I don't want to give it up is I have like 30 service vehicles in Joliet. I have a lot of properties, and I buy all these service vehicles at cost. Well, I give up my license, it's going to cost me a lot more money to keep replacing all my service vehicles.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, you mentioned that the older crowd is gone. I remember going there about 50 years ago when Bernie Williams first opened that place.
It used to be, it was the #1 car wash in Will County for years, up to about 4 or 5 years ago. But the two new car washes, the one on Jefferson Street and the one on Essington Road, really killed our business. It just killed it. And the younger people are they want to hurry up. They don't want the full service. They're going to a place where they can just run it through a $3 or $5 car wash and move on, which our car wash, you know, we do a lot more. We clean the windows, we clean the car, we do everything. And well, you know, if you go there, it's a little more time consuming.
Okay, any questions by the board?
I have a couple. How many estimated cars in your inventory do you perceive being there?
How many cars will I have there?
Yeah.
I would say 8, 9 cars at the most.
Okay.
This is not a big volume deal. These cars will rarely be outside because they are very expensive cars.
Got it. And then my other question was, I think you kind of answered it, but I just want to be sure. What is your definition of high-end car?
Well, I was saying the only thing that we stock right now is Mercedes, Porsche, Rolls Royce, and Bentleys. And some of the new style Corvettes.
Are those all new or are they used and
No,
new?
they're used, but they're close to new.
They're warranted.
The cheapest car we have right now is about my cost is about $120,000.
Okay.
And I'm assuming there will be like exterior improvements you're making on the building to accommodate this new.
On the side of the building where the 5 or 6 doors are, the cars will be in there, the office and everything will be on that side. It will not affect the detail shop or the car wash at all.
Okay.
Any other question by the board?
Hey, John, if I bought one of those nice cars, if something went wrong with it, I guess I'd be on my own though, right? I mean,
everything we have has still got factory warranty on it.
okay.
That it? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
John, I'd like to make a motion that you get your car lot.
Thanks.
I was there one day, you and I were standing side by side, waiting for our cars to go through, and it took a long time. I said, John, you can make this happen. About 6 months later, I found out you had bought the place.
Well, let me tell you what.
Do we have a second?
I was getting complaints about taking a long time, and I made a huge mistake. I spent another $200,000 putting credit card machines and everything where you can just pull up and go right through. Well, I lost all my senior citizens business when I did that because it got too complicated. That really was a huge mistake on my part. Trying to do faster volume. A lot of the people like to come in and talk to the ladies that's been there while they're waiting and stuff, and doing the automatic thing was a mistake. But it,
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Pull the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
I just want to say something real quick. I'm really excited about this project because I completely agree with you about its importance here in Joliet. But I just hope that other business owners get a little bit more creative with how they're using their properties as well, because thinking outside the box can keep a business like this. I'm very excited to vote aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, John.
So this will go to City Council, second meeting in May, the 21st, with recommendation for approval. Next application is petition number 2024-13 Applicant is Specialty Projects Incorporated. The status of the applicant is the property owner. Location of this proposal is 201 McDonald Avenue. Request is a special use permit. Under purpose, the petitioner is requesting a special use permit to allow a used specialty vehicle dealership with a specialty vehicle museum as an accessory use at 201 McDonald Avenue. The property has an I-1 light industrial zoning designation per section 4714.3D of the city's zoning ordinance. Used vehicle dealerships require special use permit approval in the I-1 zoning district. City Council makes a final decision on this special use permit request upon recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, subject property is approximately 2 acres in size and contains the existing multi-tenant building, large asphalt parking lot, and on-site stormwater detention. There is a single point of access to the property from McDonald Avenue. Concrete block multi-tenant building has 22,500 square feet, flexible space that is currently divided into 5 units. First unit will be vacated soon, as well as all the vehicles stored at the site. 2 of the units are occupied by Active Radiator and the other 2 by Specialty Products Incorporated, petitioner and property owner. Building has 7 oversized overhead doors and 9 entry doors on the south facade. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is I-1 with a trucking and truck maintenance facility.
That's the wrong staff
To the south is I-1 trucking and truck maintenance facility use. To the east is I-1 truck driver training school. To the west is R4 Timber Ridge Villas. Under applicable regulations, section 47-14.3D, allowances of B3 uses in an I-1 zoning district, 4713.2A2AG, special uses, general business districts, and section 47.5.2C, criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you can see the attached petition for that. Under discussion, Specialty Projects Inc. Incorporated purchased the multi-tenant industrial building at 201 McDonald Avenue in March 2024. This company operates a wholesale specialty vehicle parts business, as well as buys new vehicles and then outfits them with specialty hardware and products as part of their branding and marketing of their business. Company has 3 employees. The company requests approval of this special use permit for used car sales so that they can sell these specialty vehicles when they are done with their marketing and branding operations. Company currently occupies 2 of the 5 tenant spaces in the building that they own. One of the units will continue to contain their wholesale operations as well as their service bays for their specialty product and part installation work. Second unit will be where they have their sales showroom and specialty vehicle museum. They intend to also display around 6 specialty vehicles in the parking spaces closest to the property's entrance. Their proposed hours of operations are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Mondays through Fridays, or by appointment. Examples of these specialty high-end vehicles are included with this staff report packet. Petitioners stated that majority of these specialty vehicles retail for over $100,000. The business website also provides information and images that describe the business operations. Specialty Products intends to make improvements to the property, which include seal coating and striping the parking lot and installing landscaping, as well as painting and detailing the front facade of the building with windows. Staff finds that the petitioner has established with clear and convincing evidence that the criteria outlined in section 47-5.2C of the zoning ordinance, which details the conditions must be present for a special use permit to be issued, will be met with the proposed use and site plan. Site has adequate access and acreage to accommodate the small volume of vehicles that will be on site for sale. Vehicles will predominantly be located inside the existing building. Customer viewings will primarily be conducted on an appointment-only basis, thereby reducing the amount of traffic going to and from the site. The site contains adequate means of access for the proposed volume of activity. Furthermore, the proposed use would be situated within an I-1 zoning district with industrial and warehouse uses to the north, south, and east. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit, the following conditions would be included. One, that the business shall be registered with the city clerk's office. Two, all vehicles that are to be serviced for maintenance work be parked inside the subject property's main building. Three, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of a special use permit. And lastly, our 180-day clause to get up and operating, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here? You swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law.
Yes, sir.
Name and address, please.
Glenn Reyes, 17731 Haas Road, Mokina, Illinois, 60448.
Any comments you'd like to make, sir?
Just, I'd like to get this concept developed. I've been in the wholesale distribution business, also building specialty vehicles. At this point, with this building, with this project, I'd like to be able to open it up to the public and be able to have a place of business for retail and also wholesale, and also sharing some of the project vehicles we have with the public.
Could you define specialty autos?
Specialty projects, in terms of the vehicles that we create, we take brand new vehicles, recreate them, rebrand them. A lot of the parts that we put on these vehicles, these specialty vehicles, are products that we wholesale and distribute to well over 134 dealerships, mostly in the Midwest. This concept I'm creating basically here with this building is pretty unique. I've traveled nationwide with different car enthusiasts and car businesses and car manufacturers, and there's really nothing out there in terms of a company that's able to do all in one box in terms of supplementing sales, service, the products, in-stock products, and also being able to cater to the high-end clientele. So if I could put this together in Joliet, this is a project that could be replicated nationwide in terms of the business. So that's what I'm planning on developing here in Joliet, and hopefully everybody would be agreeable to this.
Are you talking about franchising or?
No, I will keep the company private. I've invested a lot of my, over the span of 20 years, putting every blood, sweat, and tears into the business, and not taking anything in terms of taking home profit. Everything's just been rolled over to the business. I don't have any business partners aside from the banks, obviously. Going forward, I'll probably keep the company private, but my intentions is to create, a specialty custom car dealership, pretty unique to, everybody nationwide. The actual, I beta tested actually a building that was 44,000 square feet. And what I found out is that building in itself is not enough to supplement what I need. But for the time being, this 22,000 square feet that's fully leased and occupied will do for now. But eventually, in the long run, we're planning on possibly executing a 60,000 square foot building sometime soon. I already bought property in Colorado, actually, and I think all works well here with this development. 2 years, I'll probably be 2 years away from building that project in Colorado.
Okay.
What's the significance of the trophies? What areas do
those are vehicles that I've built. I used to do a lot of competitions in terms of car shows, nationwide, and those are trophies won per the vehicles that I built from like the 90s and the 2000s. I've taken a break off of that because I've gotten into the business, so it became more than just medals and trophies. it was creating other people's projects, whether it be for an individual or a business or a company. Building those specialty vehicles for those clients was my focus.
I have some questions.
Sure.
Always, sorry. So you also buy vehicles, make these improvements on, and then sell them to your clientele as well?
Well, on a smaller scale, because a lot of the vehicles I build are project vehicles that we use for 1 year or 2 years of marketing, and eventually we phase that out and sell it. So at this point, I have so many different projects now that I have to be able to sell more than 5 vehicles per year per Illinois statute, that if you sell 6, 7, 8 vehicles, you have to get a dealer license. So I'm at that point that, you know, I need to take this business to the next level and be able to sell vehicles, hopefully in Joliet. If not, then I'll have to figure a different city for that.
Okay, and then you also do customization, so somebody can bring their car to you and you do some sort of customization to it?
Correct. That's on a wholesale level. So for like dealerships, you know, specialty vehicles for them that I convert and then they resell. But at this point, you know, we're focusing going direct to consumer because the market's going that direction. A lot of consumers now are being, they're a lot more educated. So they're not going to pay $20,000 for a converted vehicle and it only has like $5,000 or $6,000 on it. There's just too many layers there.
Can you give me a example of some sort of customization? Are we talking about aesthetically or are we talking about mechanically?
Mostly because most of these vehicles are brand new, so I have to abide still with keeping factory warranty per the manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, that F-450 truck there that's trailering the you know, the side-by-side and the Mustang, you know, we do our light conversions. Like that truck right there is outfitted with $30,000 in products, retail, that's retail with parts and labor. We sell that to the dealership, the conversion, and then they resell that truck. But that project there is our own project that we market to show to car dealerships that, hey, you know, this is package A, B, and C, just to showcase our work.
And then you sell whatever that kind of example one that you had.
It's B2B right now. So once we go to B to consumer, I mean, the sky's the limit then, right? So being able to do that, I think we could increase profit margin and we could also increase more, you know, more people coming to us.
Okay, so I think it's my last question, but just hearing this, my main concern is like people who come to you to get some sort of customization and then they want to take it on the road, test drive it, or is that something that you do, or somebody's gonna buy the vehicle? Are they gonna be driving off of your lot? And I guess, I mean, because I don't see any like minivans. These are fun cars, you know?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
you know, if I'm gonna buy a fun car, I'm probably gonna wanna test it a little bit. So that's my concern, and what precautions would you take if that is the case?
In terms of like the test drive protocol, it's very difficult because like some of the cars, you know, somebody wanted to test drive, say that Porsche GT4, that red one out there, you know, that car retails for $150,000, $160,000. So would we allow them to test drive? It's very difficult because, you know, a lot of consumers just want to go and joyride. And a lot of people that actually buy those cars and get those cars, they don't even get a chance to test drive them. They just buy them. You know, they're enthusiast cars. So if they've done research and checked their reviews and done their homework, they know that that car is going to perform well within the standards of, say, Porsche. So a lot of guys that actually buy these vehicles don't even test drive them. They just order them. Yeah, they already know what they're getting. Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the 1% clientele. So a lot of those, at least the people that we've sold our own projects direct to consumer, you know, they don't really care about the test drive. They just want to get the car, you know.
That's my only concern about, you know, about this project is that, you know, even if I am the 1%, I'm probably gonna, especially if I'm like flying down or something to drive it home or whatever, I don't know.
For the Jeeps, we do allow that. So if you know, like for the Jeep Wranglers but the specialty cars, it's very difficult to do that, you know, because
But
of
you do have a policy and procedure in place for that type of situation?
As a dealership, I think all dealerships have a policy that, hey, you know, if people buy the car, then yes, you know, I guess if somebody's gonna apply for financing and all that, they're pretty serious about the car. So absolutely, you know, you can test drive the car now, sir.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's, because I
Yep.
do know, not that I've been to any high-end dealerships,
Yep.
but I do know that that's kind of what happens, is typically you must be approved first or show, you know, financing
Correct.
before you can take it out.
Yep. No, we would actually
Really
prefer that. So if they, you finance the car and for some reason they test drive and they didn't like it, then absolutely. I think it's a Illinois statute that I think you have 7 days to return a car. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh.
So if you buy a car from a dealership, any car dealership in Illinois, I think it's 7 days and you're not happy with it, you can take it back.
Got it, thank you.
So,
Did you ever consider talking to people over at the Autobahn or at the Raceway about? taking
yeah,
out-
I've actually, you know, I've raced at Autobahn Country Club when they began. I think it was like 05 or 06. I've
You could
graduated
work
from
on a
that
deal with
since.
them, just,
Yeah, but yes, we do have clients that are from Audubon Country Club too.
okay, thank
Yep.
you.
How long
Any
you
other
been-
questions?
How long you been in this business?
20 years.
And this is your main source of income?
Yes, yeah, this is, I'm still learning through it, absolutely, yeah. I got into it not for the cause of money, because I came from the finance industry and Chicago Board of Options Exchange. I worked there for 4 years and I just didn't like it, so I just, you know, I just went for it with the cars. But I think, you know, once we get this box replicated and if it all works well, God willing, I think we're in a position that we could hit, you know, large numbers, long run.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes petition, asks the floor for a vote.
I vote to allow the man to have his
We have a
permission.
motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Pull the board.
Mr. Nutry?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye, good luck. Mr. Bias?
Bye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so this one will go to City Council May 21st, also with recommendation for approval. Next petition is two parts, 2024-15 and 2024-16. The applicant is Cernas. Oh, did I skip
14.
Sorry about that. Twenty 2024-14 is the next petition. The applicant is Northern Builders. Ben Dobrzynski is the applicant. Status of the applicant is general contractor. The owner is Laraway Terminal LLC. Location is 270 West Laraway Road. The request is a special use permit. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow a truck parking and maintenance facility for Cason's Transport Company at 270 West Laraway Road, and that's at the southwest corner of Laraway Road and Marcella Avenue. Per the City of Joliet zoning ordinance, carting, express, and hauling establishments may be allowed as special uses by the mayor and city council with the advice of the zoning board of appeals in accordance with section 47-5.2. Under site-specific information, the 13-acre site was annexed and classified to I-1 light industrial zoning in 1997, along with the property to the south, which now contains a warehouse and distribution center. Subject site is currently undeveloped. The Union Pacific Railroad tracks border the west side of the site and cross Laraway Road. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is surrounded by industrial uses with I-1 light industrial and I-2 general industrial, ITC intermodal terminal, and B3 general business zoning. Zoning and land use for the adjacent properties are as follows. To the north is I-1 warehouse. To the south is I-1 warehouse and distribution center. To the east is B3 trucking facility under development. To the west is ITC, and that's Center Point Intermodal Center and the Union Pacific Railroad right-of-way. Under applicable regulations, section 47-14.2AD, special uses, all industrial districts. and 47.5.2C criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner, Northern Builders, is requesting a special use permit to allow a truck parking and maintenance facility for Cason's Transport Company. Cason's is an auto hauling company that provides automotive logistics services primarily in the Midwest. They would like to relocate their Aurora, Illinois location to the proposed site in order to be closer to the intermodal terminal that their trucks currently serve. Cason's plans to operate around 100 trucks from this location with an estimated 50 trips to and from the site per day, spread throughout the day and night hours. Proposed site plan includes a 26,950 square foot maintenance facility, 80 truck parking stalls, and 88 employee parking spaces. There are also 35 remix parking stalls to store extra auto stock from partial loads that are to be combined with other loads. Proposed building includes several maintenance bays, office space, and truck wash. Employee parking mainly serves the fleet drivers. There would also be 5 office staff at this location. Stormwater detention is proposed on the west side of the lot. The driveway access to the site would be aligned with the existing signalized intersection at Marcella Avenue. At the northeast corner of the site, signal modifications would be required as part of this development. The proposed development would be required to comply with the city's non-residential design standards and the landscape and screening regulations. Payment in lieu of taxes pilot will be required per the terms of the approved ordinance. Funds collected from the pilot will be used for adjacent city street maintenance. Sewer and water connection fees and development impact fees will be required. All public improvements will be required as per the subdivision regulations and the requirements of the Public Works and Utilities departments. The petitioner has been working with Public Works staff to determine what right-of-way dedications would be needed in anticipation of a future Leroy Road bridge over the railroad tracks. These dedications would be required as part of the future site development. It should be noted that a traffic impact study was not required for this development. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve this special use permit, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the landscape plan that meets city ordinance shall be submitted as part of the building permit plan set. 2, that the building shall comply with the city's non-residential design standards. 3, that the development shall be required to make a payment in lieu of taxes, the pilot as per the terms of the ordinance. 4, that the business shall be registered with the city's business services division. And lastly, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. We all gonna be talking? And we're all gonna be sworn in. Let's see those right hands. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Names and addresses.
Matthias Tresna, 716 North Merrill Street, Park Ridge, Illinois.
Joe Hammer, Twig Technologies, 129 Capista Drive, Shorewood, Illinois.
I'm Brian Surrey with Caston's Transport Company, 8233 Brickyard Hill Road, Warden, Illinois.
Who's first?
Good afternoon. Matthias Tresna on behalf of Northern Builders today.
Want to move that mic up for your own?
Sure. Better? Excellent. So we're on behalf of Northern Builders today, the general contractor for the project. Looking forward to building this new facility for Caston's Transport, currently located in Aurora. Loves to be in Joliet, very interested in being close proximity to the intermodal. And we are looking to break ground here come the summer.
Okay. Anyone else? You didn't even need to be sworn in. Any questions by the board?
You currently own a trucking company presently?
I'm the executive vice president for Caston's Transport Company. I have a 40-year history with the company. We haul new automobiles to dealers. Been doing it since 1933, the company has. We currently have a terminal in Aurora, Illinois, but it's a long drive from Aurora down to the facility in Elwood. Back in 1982, we built a terminal in Aurora, Illinois, because the Burlington Automotive Yard was there at the time. And in 2002, Burlington moved their automotive yard to Elwood.
Okay.
And our terminal is too far away. Our drivers spend a lot of time in traffic going back and forth, unproductive time for them. So it's our goal to get closer to the action.
Okay, all right.
Makes sense.
Any other questions?
I do have a quick question. When I read this and I read, there's truck parking in here, but that would just be for you guys operating your business. You're not renting or any part of truck parking. It's just for your specific dedicated business.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that it? Anybody in the audience?
This is just car haulers, right?
Yeah, the only business we do is hauling new automobiles. So our job here in Elwood is to keep the rail ramp clean so they can unload more vehicles as they're delivered to Elwood. So we take them from the Elwood rail yard to local dealers, and also in Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Indiana from this facility. And we've been doing the same job since 1982. We've just been in the wrong location, and we wish to get here where we belong.
Are those your trucks that park car haulers out on Route 6?
Are they red?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. So that's in Rockdale?
Yes.
Yeah, so we would close that. We're leasing that facility right now, and we would consolidate them in this new facility.
Okay.
Is it?
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I do have one more. As I understand it, based on what you guys said today, you guys are currently already operating your business in Elwood and in this area. You're moving vehicles in and out. Although you guys will be, investing in a new facility, it's not necessarily more trucks onto the road for the residents.
That's
Those
correct.
trucks are already there.
That's correct. We're doing that job today. We're just trying to eliminate the empty miles for our drivers to this facility, the amount of fuel that's burned going back and forth and coming from a location where we're inefficient.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
How long you think it have it before it's up and running?
Hoping for the end of the year.
Okay.
Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
Move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And that case will also go to City Council May 21st with recommendation for approval. Petition number 2024-15 and 2024-16. The applicant is Cerna's Auto Repair Corporation. Status of the applicant is proposed tenant. The owner is 900 East Washington LLC. Location is 218 South Chicago Street. Request is a special use permit and also a variation. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow an auto repair facility within the existing commercial building at 218 South Chicago Street. For the City of Joliet zoning ordinance, automotive repair facilities may be allowed as special uses in the B3 zoning district by the mayor and city council with the advice of the Zoning Board of Appeals in accordance with section 47-5.2. Zoning ordinance states that the auto facilities shall not have any openings within 100 feet of any residential zoning district. Petitioner is requesting a variation from this requirement because the existing building has a loading door within 100 feet of a residentially zoned vacant lot located to the southeast of the subject property at 221 St. Louis Street. Under site-specific information, the subject site is around 6,000 square feet and contains a 2,170 square foot concrete block building built around 1959. Building has an overhead door on the west side off Chicago Street and a second loading door on the east side off the alley. On the north side of the building, there is an asphalt parking lot with access off Chicago Street. Property is currently zoned I-1 light industrial and has been zoned I-1 since 1978 when it was reclassified from B3 general business zoning. The existing building was constructed around 1959 and used as an auto repair and sales facility for the next 2 decades. Most recent use was for a door and heating systems company from 2003 to around 2012. Property has not been occupied since then, according to city directory data. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is located on the east side of Chicago Street, between Osgood Street and 3rd Avenue. The block contains many undeveloped lots surrounding the subject site. Other uses on the block include a Comcast building at the northwest corner, a residential home at the northeast corner, and part of the Ace Iron and Metals Incorporated recycling operation, the southeast corner. The entire block is zoned I-1, with the exception of one lot that is zoned R2 single-family residential and is currently vacant. Across Chicago Street to the west are vacant city-owned lots and an industrial building for Ace Iron and Metals Incorporated, zoned R2 single-family residential. Under applicable regulations, section 47-13.2AG, special uses, B3 district, section 47-5.2C, criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting approval of a special use permit to allow an automotive repair facility for Cerna's Auto Repair Corporation at 218 South Chicago Street. Business is locally owned, small business that performs general auto repair work, including engine and transmission repair, computer diagnostics, tune-ups, and brake repair. The business would operate as a public garage with the proposed hours of Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Business would employ 3 repair technicians and 1 office employee. The interior of the existing building is currently open space with overhead doors on the front and rear. Business owner estimates that up to 4 to 5 cars can be serviced and stored inside the building at one time. Petitioner would need to remodel the interior to add office space and restrooms. Existing parking lot would need to be redone, including paving, curbing, and landscaping as a condition of the special use permit. Additionally, the sidewalk in front of the building along Chicago Street would need to be replaced where needed. The petitioner estimates that the parking lot can contain approximately 10 parking spaces. Floor plan, parking plan, and plat of survey are attached. Zoning ordinance states that auto repair uses shall not have any openings within 100 feet of a residential zoning district. Again, one lot located south of the subject site is zoned R2 and within 100 feet of the rear loading door. Lot was reclassified from industrial to residential in 91 because it contained a residence at that time. Residence was demolished around 2000, and the lot is currently vacant and owned by the city of Joliet. Though the lot no longer contains a residential use, the petitioner must request a variation from the 100-foot spacing requirement because of the lot's residential zoning designation. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the variation and special use permit, following conditions would be included. 1, that the parking lot shall be replaced in accordance with city ordinance requirements prior to the issuance of the business license. 2, that the sidewalk along the property frontage on Chicago Street shall be replaced where needed prior to the issuance of a business license. 3, that a landscape plan that meets city ordinance shall be submitted as part of the building permit plan set. 4, that a city business license shall be obtained. 5, our 180-day clause to get up and operating. And 6, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. That concludes our staff report.
Petitioner? You swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law. Name and addresses.
Jose Serna, 915 Jasper Street, Joliet, Illinois.
Cynthia Baca, CMB Accounting Services, 1523 Plainfield Road.
Any comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, we're just hoping you guys could give us the approvals, to get our business started. It'll be my first business ever, and hoping it happens, and hoping you guys could come through too. I mean, it'd be really close convenience for you guys where you guys work.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little closer than you think. I own that house directly behind you.
Nice. Well,
well, we need to talk here. How much are you gonna the lot to the south of you, are you gonna store cars there or?
No, that would just be, our parking lot, for whatever clients, or whichever client drops off their car, and then we'll directly put them inside the bay. So there won't be no issues, with cars being out in the lot.
Now, I won't get up one morning and find a lot of car parts and things
Oh,
left
no,
out.
you won't, no, trust me. If not, we'll just send it to the, metal shop right behind us.
Is there any, where'd Jim go?
I have a question. Maybe somebody on the board knows. I got a little confused when you talked about the property that the city's maintaining. Is that, I'm sorry, is that part of that lot, or is that the lot next to it?
It was the lot that caused that variation request
There was a
that the
house
city
on it.
owned, but we probably own a lot of lots over here.
Yeah, so it's not the one that's actually highlighted, so they're not taking over something from the city, it's the one
No,
that
it's
next
that
to it?
yellow lot to the southeast.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
have plans
that's-
to expand at any time? Because it is a pretty, I mean, it is a pretty big lot with just extra,
Eventually, I mean, once we get up and running and, the business gets good, I mean, we probably plan to expand.
Any further questions?
Mr. Bias, I think because of your conflict with adjacent property owner, you should probably not vote on this.
that parking lot that is to, I guess, the right of the building, that's not currently concrete, right? Is that,
No, it's not.
are
No,
you
it's
planning
not.
on making it
We're
concrete
gonna
at
put
some point?
asphalt on it.
Asphalt on there, okay.
So the only thing that you're gonna use is that, the grassy area is gonna stay grassy, right? To the
Correct.
south. And you're only gonna use the area to the north of you, to the north of the building.
No, yeah.
And that cut in to the right of the fire hydrant is not your property, correct? I'm getting
Oh, it's
confused
not,
with the,
no,
okay,
that's not our, no.
okay.
Maybe, hopefully, you and I can talk to the council lady and get that, alleyway paved back there, hopefully.
That'd be nice.
Is there any further questions by the board?
No.
Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition. Ask the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second. The second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
I can't vote.
You'll abstain? Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So the variation is approved and the special use permit will go to City Council May 21st with recommendation for approval. Next agenda item is old new business, not for final action or recommendation. We have none. Next would be public comments. Anybody wanting to speak could speak now, but I don't see anybody still in attendance. And then lastly would be adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
We have motion and second to adjourn the meeting. Poll the board.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank